Began my career sort of backwards. I have always loved writing almost as much as I loved cooking. And when I was 12, I was sitting in my mother's car in the middle of the summer in Northwest Florida, where I'm from. And it was very hot, and she had run in the pharmacy for something. And I had the wild hair to contact the local newspaper using 411, something I later got admonished for, and asked to speak to the editor of the food section. I had been a reader and a fan of our local paper's food section for as long as I could remember. I used to cook recipes out of it with my grandparents when I was growing up. And I reached out, got through to I didn't even know the name of this person when I called, and I asked not the switchboard operator, the operator, to transfer me to the food editor. And when I got the person on the line, I said, "Hi, my name is Chris Struck. I'm, 12 years old, and I'm interested in writing a food column for you. I think that your food section is very good, but could use a teenager's touch."
Did they think it was a joke, or they were getting punked or something?
We remain friends to this day. He's just recently retired from media, but I think he did. I think initially his first reaction was that someone in the newsroom had put somebody up to this, and so it sank in, and we chatted a bit more and said, "Do your parents know you're calling?" And I lied and said yes, and he said, "Okay, well, I'm intrigued. All right, you need to send me a writing sample, and then if I like what I see, we can go from there. We need to have a meeting with your parents and get them to sign some paperwork." And 6 months later, I published my first column under the moniker The Food Dude, and wrote that for 5 years throughout high school. It was published once a month, and I would generally create an original recipe that I would test and do a little bit of editorial. Sometimes I would do things like interview chefs. I had the opportunity to interview Art Smith. In fact, one of my last celebrity chef interviews was with a chef named Tim Crehan, who's very well known and lauded throughout North Florida and parts of Louisiana. And I asked him as my last interview question, "How young do you hire?" I was 13, and it would not have been legal, I don't think, to employ me in his kitchen at 13 in Florida at the time. And it was more of a joke. I was being, I'm a smart ass, and that's how I operate. And he said, "Do you want a job?" And I was just sort of flabbergasted. And I said, "Well, are you hiring?" And he said, "Doesn't matter. Do you want a job?" And that was definitively the first moment in my life where I said, "Yes, chef." And my get home from this interview, my aunt had picked me up and dropped me off, and I go into the kitchen, and my mother said, "How did it go? How'd the interview go?" And I said, "It went great. I got a job." She said, "It wasn't a job interview." I said, I don't know. When someone offers you a job in their restaurant and they're a pretty well-known chef, you just take the opportunity. And I can plot where I'm at today from that first food column job. So it's kind of cool to see the way that this person introduced you to this person, and then you do a stage for them, or you work for them for several years, and then you meet this person, and your career is sort of flourished as a result of this.
So you did your due diligence with this editor's job, but then you had to go back and get permission from mom and dad. What did they say when you asked them, or you told them, or how did that go?
My parents have always been loving and supportive of almost everything I've done. They've always, I am very much an opportunist, and I seize every opportunity, and that has largely been what I can ascribe to my professional and personal success thus far. But I sometimes will say yes, regardless of whether it's feasible or whether it's financially viable, which is why I did a study abroad when I was at Johnson & Wales in Germany. And I remember talking to my father about it, and he said, it's not a good idea. It's too expensive. And I said, "This is a once in a lifetime opportunity." And he said, "Son, you've been using that line on me for the last 10 years. He said, "Well, how often do I do something again?" So ultimately, I made it work. And I also, since college, have worked 3 jobs at any given time. And that's pretty much, prior to COVID, has been the case in my life. So you figure it out. If the opportunity presents itself, you figure out a way to latch on. But mom and dad are generally supportive. They would drive me to and from work.